Okay, let's get this started. Thank you for watching our video. Today we're going to be talking some genealogy, and my name is Kathy Worth, and I'm from Family Tree Tours, and I'm joined today by my good friend Matthias Uthoff from Germany. And this is first show of our series that we're going to try to do on helpful research tips, how-tos, interesting interviews to help you with your genealogy research and to help you learn a little bit about your ancestors' heritage and culture. A little bit about me. I am a longtime genealogist. I belong to several genealogy societies. I'm the co-leader of a German research group. And for the past 7 years, I have been, I own a heritage travel company that takes people back to their ancestral hometowns in Germany and other European countries. My friend in Germany, Matthias, well, I'll let him tell a little bit about himself. Matthias, how long have you been doing genealogy?
Yes, thank you, Casey. I'm doing genealogy since 13 years now, and pretty quick I came across some immigrants, and the first one I found after 3 or 4 years, and was after 7 years I found also some in St. Louis, and that's the reason now today where I'm stuck here with you.
Yes.
Those things sometimes goes.
Yes. That's why we're friends, is because we've helped each other. He's helped me do genealogy in Germany, and I've helped him do genealogy in the States. So that's a little bit of our background, and what we're going to do today. I was brought to my attention from Matthias some information about a podcast that he was listening to in Germany on genealogy, and that kind of piqued my interest because I like genealogy. But since my Deutsch is nicht good, I could listen to it, but I probably couldn't understand much of it. So I had also had the opportunity to briefly meet our guest at the National Genealogy Day in Heidelberg, Germany last September. He was the speaker there, and we talked for a brief minute. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring him on. He's a German genealogist and a blogger and the host of a podcast in Germany, and his name is Timo Kracke. Welcome, Timo.
Yes, hello, Casey. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be the first guest on your show. And
well, thank you very much. And I wanted to first of all to apologize for any German pronunciation because mine's not going to be good. So perhaps you might want to give your name and the name of your page, your blog, and your podcast, since I can't pronounce it very well.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So I'm Timo Kracke, and I'm the host of the podcast Der Genealoge, which means in English the genealogists. And so yeah, I'm doing it for about 2 years now, and yeah, it's running really well. So it's the only podcast about genealogy in Germany. So yeah, I think we made a good job on this.
Oh, good. Well, you answered about 3 of my questions all at once there. I was going to ask you how long have you been doing it. And so I think maybe I can get started with a little bit of background on you as far as genealogy. You're a young guy, and for all those of us that have been doing genealogy for a long time, we're always interested in how young people get attracted to it. Although personally, I started young too, many years ago. I was a teenager, and I liked history, and my mom had started our family history, and when she would mention, family members and time periods that they lived, I kind of started placing them in, oh, that was, during our Civil War, or this was during this or that, and kind of got me hooked into genealogy, and, I've been into it ever since then. So what was your story? How did you get interested in genealogy?
I think it was a bit curious, so not the typical way how people get started with genealogy. So I think it's about 17 years ago from now. I started a lot with some techie things. So I'm a computer. I like computers. I really like techie things and the internet. And one day I started and get my own domain. So it's www.kracke.de, Kracke, Kracke.org, and I got this blank page and talked to a friend and told him, I don't know what to put on this web page, and he suggested and said, a friend of mine has his genealogical on his website and showed all the people outside what's with my family, and he showed his own research, and I thought, that's a great idea, the best topic for a website. And in that way I started my website by doing my own family search and put it online on this web page. So I really came from another side from family searching. I don't have these old pictures or stories from the family. That all came much later to me. So I started a really different way to genealogy. So that's the way I started. And the first times I went to archives and made my own research, I really enjoyed it, and I thought, that's the way I want to do, and not only the techie things.
Oh, that's interesting that you got into it from a different aspect of, of it. But so you have been doing your own research though now. So how far back have you taken your family?
It's completely different. So the most far back point from now is in 1420. So really far back, and I don't made it on myself. So I have a tree. My grandmother is born Wachtendorf, and the name Wachtendorf is really common in this area. So I'm living between Bremen and Oldenburg in Germany, and in this area the name Wachtendorf is really common. So there's a researcher in Oldenburg, and he made a book about these family Wachtendorf, and from this book I have many informations, and he already had my grandmother in his book, and so I have a great point to join his research and get many of informations from him, and that's still the largest branch of my family tree.
Yeah, that makes it much easier when you find. Is this an Ortsippenbuch or a family register book that he has made?
No, he made a special Wachtendorf book.
Oh, just from the family name.
Yeah, his family name is also Wachtendorf, and his main research is for the family Wachtendorf. He went to all church books around, to all churches around Oldenburg, looked through all church books for only the name Wachtendorf, and collected all information, every snippet what he could get from papers, and all what he could imagine he put to his book, and combined all these informations to a really large family research, and nearly all Wachtendorf are related to each other.
Wow. That's pretty
really
interesting.
great job.
Well, a lot of Americans think that the Germans have it pretty easy to do their ancestry because, of course, they have access to the church books and to the archives and that. If you hadn't have found this book, what do you feel about that? Do you think it's easy to do research in Germany?
Not every time. So sometimes we have really great resources. What you already mentioned, we have some great local heritage books, and we have these informations online, and we have the possibility to go to archives and all these things. We have a local. We live in the old land, and we don't have to fly over the ocean to make all this research. That's for clear. But I think to research in Germany is not as easy. So I'm living in the north of Germany. If I have to research in, so many families have, how to explain? Many families have ancestors from Silesia or from the south of Germany. So for my example, my grandfather came from the completely south of Germany, at the border to Switzerland and to France. At this two borders, he grew up, and from this point, the whole family came. So in my position, I have to travel down. It's okay. It's only 800 kilometers, but it's not a weekend job to do this research. So it's not all the time easy to do research in Germany. It really depends on which area you want to research. So some areas in Germany are really comfortable with informations and sources and have many sources online, and other areas even don't have these informations or only have this information in archives, and you need to travel to these archives. And another thing, what is a bit poor for us Germans, Family Search already have a couple of microfilms from church books, what they have recorded and have there in their vault, but you aren't able to rent them in Germany. So the local archives say, okay, if you are in Germany, you have to go to the archive and aren't able to rent these films to your local family history library, and you need to travel. So sometimes it doesn't be easy for us Germans to research.
Yeah, I volunteer at a family history center, and I've seen, when I've ordered films before, I see they're on there that says, not available for people in Germany, and I always kind of wondered, why that was, but Matthias has explained to me that, that they want people to go to the archives. That's how the archives, make some money or stay in business, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
Well, and then I was going to ask you also too, but you kind of answered that about have you found that you have people from other countries? I know Matthias has told me in his research that he's found out. Where was it from, Matthias? Where do you have people from?
My grandfather is from what is today Poland, and but it's still Germany from the Rhineland and from the Palatinate, and maybe there is a link to France, so we will see about this. Yeah. But there's much way to go anyway.
Well, it's makes sense. Germany's kind of in the middle of the country, or kind of land mass there, so people traveling through it could be different ones. But so you have the same thing as we do. You have to write to the archives or go to the archives and do your research also. But there are more things coming online. That seems to be, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about your podcast that you do. You said you've been doing it for about 3 years now, 2 or 3 years?
2 years, yeah. 2
years. And what kind of topics do you have on your podcast?
I think it's completely the whole field of genealogy. So it's everything. I'm talking to local societies. I'm talking to professional researchers. I'm talking to my heritage in Germany. I already talked to Family Search library in Germany, and we made a series of podcast episodes, and everything what's in interest for every researcher in Germany. So I don't have really focus on only one topic. So I think everything what's of interest for any family researcher in Germany could be of interest for the podcast. So I think it would be a bright way of information what I have on the podcast.
Oh, that's right, because no one knows everything, so it's neat to be able to have different opinions and hear of different new things that are coming online and things. So very interesting. How do you do interviews? You said you did interviews on there also. So how do you find your guest?
Yeah, correct. So the standard podcast episode is a bunch of information. So I'm reading a lot of blogs, news, and all kinds on internet, and collect these informations and collect it to a paper of Der Genealoge, and I publish it on my blog and show all the information what I've collected about the time from one episode to the next episode. And that's a part of the podcast where I read and tell the listener what's the most interesting things for me in the last weeks before the new episode was released. And then I have an interview. So I know much people here in Germany, and I'm part of the leadership from Verein für Computergenealogie, which is the largest society here in Germany. And from this point, I know many people, what I've got in contact, or I meet people at what you already mentioned, the Genealogentag last time in Heidelberg. And so I've been there a couple of times, and you meet some people, and yeah, we often talk about these topics, and yeah, it's interesting, and the most people are also interested by themselves to explain what they are doing, and show people what we already have, and what's possible with their society, their website, or their project, what they are doing.
Yeah, you're right, and that's how, you know, like I said, we briefly met at that, and that's what kind of why I went there, was to make some contacts with people. When you know, I travel to Germany a couple of times a year, and so we've met lots of people, different interesting researchers, and people that have, you know, started their own databases, and tour guides that we meet that do historical tours and stuff. So you're right, you want these people to be able to tell their story too. So that, you know, bring that information to everybody. So have you had a lot of response to your podcast? How does it go over? You get a lot of suggestions from people?
The Germans are not so intensive like the people in the States. So I think the main problem is not the right description. So in the States you have really much people. Only in the States you have all English-speaking people that could join you, and I thought it would be great to have it in native. So many Germans, when they do their own research, they're a bit older, so many of them don't even speak English, and it's good to have it in native. So I've started all to do it in native German when I started. So I pushed it by blogging, telling many people with other blogs in Germany, okay, that's what I'm doing. Maybe would be great if you could push it and make a blog post on your saying. I'm talking to people. They publish newsletters, and sometimes they show, there's an interesting episode on the podcast. Maybe you could join the podcast site. And I'm on all social networking platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and there are many people where you could get in really short feedback. So when I have a new blog post, I already post it to Facebook, Google, and Twitter. So the people don't even have to look on my site every day. So if they see it on their newsstream and their favorite social networks, they could see all what I've already published, and then they could go to my website and read the whole article. So yeah, in that way I'm getting a lot of feedback. So most people just give me a short comment. Some people say, okay, I would do it a completely different way. You need to say all these informations and so on. And other people just say, I really enjoy what you're doing, and yeah, that's the way how the feedback came to me.
Well, and I think it takes a while too to build up an audience and to get the word out. And you're right. I think for the most part, people that do genealogy are older people, and it takes them a little bit longer for technology to get into it. But I think, just in my experience of coming in the past, 5 or 6 years, it does seem that they're getting a little bit more interested in genealogy, and so many more things are getting online. I noticed on your you had a blog post about is it 2.1 million records from the Diocese of Passau? Is that going online?
You mentioned a blog post to my blog post. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what what you really meant. The blog post is still online, or did you mention the database? What I mentioned in the blog post.
Well, I was talking about, you had a post on your website, something about the Diocese of Passau is releasing 2.1 million records. So I'm assuming that is something that's online already, and they're putting more records online.
Yeah, absolutely correct. That's apart from GeneStream in Austria. They have a really large database, which is I think completely free for everyone who wants to join, and they have really much information online. So they are also growing really fast in the last years, and yeah, they have much information online there, and there is some of the project owners really often post some informations in newsletters and mailing lists, and there's what I got these informations and the blog post about these news at Gene Team Austria.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hit you with something else that was in your blog post. It was about a a TV show called, now watch my pronunciation, Die Spur Ahnen.
Yeah.
A TV program that's in Germany. That looks very interesting. I wish I could understand it. What is that about?
I think it's something similar, like it's not the same like Who Do You Think You Are in the States.
That's what I was wondering. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit different. It's not completely the same. The main point, I think, it's not celebrities. They are all private people. So private people could get to MDR, which is a television program where it is broadcasted, and they could tell them, okay, I have something really interesting in my family history, and I'm not sure if it is correct that I'm related to whatever. Someone who they think it's an interesting person. So they could tell them, and they make the research for the people. And when they broadcast the TV show, they make a story behind. They show the people when they go to the archives, meet the professional genealogists, and they show them what they have researched for them, and show them, oh, maybe it is possible that you are related to these people. But you have to go to the next archive, and then you see another story, a break from the only archive work. You see a story, then you see the next archive, and that's really similar to Who Do You Think You Are, but also for private people and not only celebrities. Yeah, I really enjoy this show, and I think it's one of we have really low TV program on genealogy, so it's really nice to have this one TV show which is coming up regularly.
Yeah, it looked real interesting to me. Like I said, I did listen to some. My German's not that good, but I thought, boy, I wish I understood this because it looks real interesting. Well, and speaking of that, on our last trip, so you might have a little piece on, I don't know what it's going to be playing on, maybe Matthias knows, but we were on our group tour to the Rhineland area. We had a TV crew that followed us, the German TV crew, that they're going to put something on about Americans finding their ancestors in Germany. So I was just wondering if the interest we have, as you know, Who Do You Think You Are in America? But it's I think in America the genealogy is a little bit bigger. More people are interested, mainly because we all know that we're immigrants. We came from somewhere, so we all want to find out where we came from. Not everybody, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So in Germany, it is still a hobby for the older people, actually. So we are really hard working on to show younger people it could be interesting to know from where you're coming, to who you are related, who are your ancestors, and from which villages you come. Are you native German, or did you have ancestors from Netherlands, from France, or from Poland, or from where else? Yeah, we need to do more on this.
And I also noticed on your blog that you did a blog in English one time, and it had some links on there for different sites that Americans, English people can read. And one of them was about your the computer genealogy service. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I know that you're on the board for that society.
Yes, correct. So the blog post, it's called A Lot to Discover in Genealogy, Germany, and it's in preparation for the upcoming Roots Tag. So I have the honor to go to RootsTech to Salt Lake City the next February. So I'm going to present a project from Verein für Computergenealogie, which is called the GOV, which is a genealogical gazetteer, which means it is a place guide. You could get many information about places. You got unique identification of places. You got information to where these places belong to, in which time period it belongs to, maybe this village. After that, it belongs to this this church or whatever. And you got all these informations which are really useful when you want to research in this area. Maybe you know your ancestor came from a special village or place. You need to know at which point you have to go when you want to find some documents about your ancestor. And in this database, GOV, you could find many informations in which time period you have to go to which archive or which database you could find information. And that's a project what I want to show at the RootsTech Innovators Summit. It's a day before RootsTech started. It's a special Innovators Summit. It's something. It's more oriented to a bit more techy and talking about computer and APIs and all these techy stuff about how to combine our software, how to implement our GOV project to existing software or existing online programs, and how to offer our project and implement it to their projects. That's the topic why I'm going to RootsTech. And in preparation, I knew from Lisa Louise Cook, who's the host of Genealogical Games, and she made a Flipboard magazine about the RootsTech and requested all the speakers, hey, maybe it's a nice thing when you could offer some content for this magazine, what's important for you and what you want to show to the people. And I thought maybe it is a good point to say, okay, people out there, we really have much information here in Germany. We have all these databases online. You could research online. We have many informations that could guide you to the right places. We have people who could help you. We have mailing lists, we have forums, we have information boards, whatever, where you could join us and take a look what we have to show you. And yeah, I just wanted to offer this to all the people. They are not really knowing where to search for German information. So many sites in Germany are only in German available on the web, and I think it's a nice guide when you say, okay, I need to research in Germany and I don't have the right point to start over, and maybe it give you some nice advices how to start your research in Germany.
Well, that's very true, and you know, I use that. First, I want to say I'm going to have you show what the link is, and then we'll put it in the show notes and everything. And because a V in German sounds like RFs, it's for English speakers. I like to say we would say Gov, the GOV. And I wanted to ask you, because I use that. You know, I told you I belong to a German research group, and you know, like let's say someone finds their hometown. But as you know, just like if somebody came to America and said, my people came from Springfield, well, Springfield where? You know, there's 10,000 towns named Springfield. Yeah. So is this something that helps you to see how many towns by the same name that there are?
Yes, absolutely. So Springfield is also one nice example for this. So we have the same for Berlin or some smaller towns that we have also in Germany with the same names. And yeah, it's really tricky to search in Germany. So you need the correct name of the town, and when you have this town, you need to know where to go. So when you search in the GOV, you go to this database, put in your name, what you're searching for, and then you got a whole list. And this list shows you all complete correct names and all similar names. So when you have only put in the name Burg, it shows you Hamburg, Flensburg, and all the names with Burg in it. So you could search for these informations when you're not sure how to write the name of the city correct. So you could search in this database in different ways, and you could go much deeper. So when you see and start in the search, you see the first results, and you could click in the informations, and you could see something like a tree of this place. You see, okay, this city belongs from this time period to this time period to these cities, and you could see, okay, what is around this city. So you could make a search around and say, okay, this is the correct Springfield, what I'm searching for, because it is close to the city where they may be married or whatever. So you say, okay, they get children in this town, and maybe they are born in Springfield, and it is really common that it's a Springfield what is close to the city where the children are born, or something like that.
Well, yeah, you're right, because you need some additional information. You know, maybe some of the witnesses in a marriage or something mention another little town that's around there, so you know you've got the right one. And like you said too, also some of these ones that are in German, it's helpful to have somebody that can show you how to navigate it, and that's some of the things that Matthias and I are going to try to do, is to show some websites, because I think some people get intimidated when they go to it and it's all in German and they don't know, I don't know how to read that, so what am I going to do? But this website that we're talking about that you have, it's got lots of good information on there, so maybe you want to share your screen with us and show us a little bit about that.
Yes, of course, I could do it. I'm going to switch my screen to the GOV website.
And then later you can show us your blog page.
Okay, so I'm gonna now switch to GOV. I hope you could see now my screen. Okay, I'm gonna start to the start page of the GOV and see what it's showing.
Of course, computers always take their dear sweet time.
Yeah. Okay. This is a starting page of the GOV. What you see when you enter the web address, it's gov.genealogy.net. You got this landing page, and you can enter your place what you're searching for. So I'm gonna enter now Riegersdorf. And Riegersdorf is the hometown of my parents-in-law. They come from the now Poland, which is in near to Oppeln, Neustadt Oppeln in Prussia, Silesia.
Oh.
So on this page you could see the results, what we have, and this already shows you what I mentioned before. You could see in the name it's Althof, Riegersdorf, Althof. It's only Riegersdorf, and you have many Riegersdorf. What could be possible the correct Riegersdorf? And at the bottom you see, okay, this is in that case the correct Riegersdorf, what I'm searching for, and you could see it is known as Riegersdorf and also as Rudycka. And the Rudycka is the actually known Polish name for this place.
That's the now name in Poland. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So you also could search by Rudycka and find the same result, of course. And when you open the GOV web page, you could see, okay, this is the information page about Riegersdorf. You could see above the content, you could see, okay, this is the unique identification object number of this object. So when you talk to other people, and that's what we are, that's what our vision is. We want to show GOV to all the people, and hopefully many people would use this GOV, and when you got a research from another researcher, you got all his information, and maybe he only entered Riegersdorf in his information. You could say, okay, I know he mentioned Riegersdorf, but I'm not sure if it's this Riegersdorf or this Riegersdorf. You now have this unique identification of the object and say, okay, this is the correct Riegersdorf, which is now in Poland. And you have a unique combination to the place.
Now, where does this information come from? Is this from, where is this linked to a historical Gazetteer, or where is it coming from?
Yeah, it's completely right. So we have historical informations, and we have all coming from sources. So the whole GOV project is done on volunteer basis. So with many people, they are working with CompGen, the Verein für Computergenealogie, and add all these informations they have old gazetteers where they get these informations. They take these gazetteers. They are some of them are already scanned and available to our digital bibliothek, and you could browse it online through the website from CompGen, and then the people could enter all these information what they could get from the old printed Gazetteer to our online databases.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like Family Search has volunteer indexers. So these are volunteers that are
yes,
putting information in.
Yes, correct. We have a couple of these kind of projects. Yeah, we have something similar to Index project. It's called the DES. It's an online indexing for World War records that we have also on our webpage, and a couple of other things about family. These informations what you have in the paper. So when someone dies or when they a child is born, and these information also collected and put online to our databases on a volunteer basis.
Oh, I see. And then go back to the previous page to this. So you're showing that you have, it could be 5 or 6 or however many towns by the same name.
Yes.
So the best way for people to try to figure out, well, in my own research, I'm doing research for someone, and we've got a name of a town, and there's 5 of them, and we don't know which one it is, so we just have to research in all of them, until we find the correct one. But any hints on helpful ideas on if you only know the town, and like we said, maybe look for someone else that has another little village around there, so that you can kind of narrow in on that?
Yes, I think when you have these overview and you click through one information like this one in Riegersdorf, you also have a couple of maps here on the right side. You see a map where the Riegersdorf is located. You see this in this OpenStreetMap, so you click through it and see what is around there. You could click through it and see more information. You could see, okay, which village is close to this Riegersdorf, and in that way you could combine these information and see, okay, maybe this is a possible Riegersdorf what I'm searching for. And in that case you got these informations.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so this is what you're going to be speaking of at Roots Tech then.
Yes, I'm gonna explain the GOV in its basis and show these pages what kind of informations we have. That is this is a tree what I'm now showing here. You could see this, and when I zoom in, I'm not sure if you could see it on your screen, but you could see this city Riegersdorf depends to Regierungsbezirk Oppeln, and then you have different time periods. It depends to Oberschlesien, and the next time period it depends to Provinz Schlesien, and then it makes it easier to make your research more valuable, to say, okay, it depends in that time, it depends to this state or to this city, and it makes your information really better.
Well, you know, and it's I try to tell people here all the time too, you do have to know the history of the area, because that's where, you know, like you said, the records might be in a different place because of the time period, who owned it at that time. So you really have to kind of do a little bit of history on the background of the town also.
Yes,
Correct?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. You have to know a bit about the history. Sometimes you have to know a bit more about the people, what they doing, what kind of jobs did they have, and you have to ask yourself, is it possible that the people, maybe he's a captain of a ship, and maybe it is possible that he is living in Berlin? If is this the best opinion what you have to search for? And when you have another place that is at the coast of Germany, maybe it is real common that when he is a captain, then he lives at the north, at the coast of Germany, and not at the south or at the east of Germany.
Right, right. Well, that's interesting, and like I said, this there's also all kinds of other things on this genealogy net, that website. We hope maybe on another time we can go through again. We'd like to get in touch with you later down the road when you come back from Roots Tech and let us know how that goes. Is this going to be the first time you've been to the United States?
Yes, it's the first time to the States. Also, it's not only the first time for Roots Tech, it's also my first time to the United States.
Wow, well, exciting. Well, hopefully you won't run into such bad weather. It will be cold out there, though.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really looking forward to meet all the people over there. So I know really many people from blogging and yeah, all these things, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, well, like I said, that's an interesting website. We're going to hope to, talk to you again about it, and I wish you much luck there. I just wanted to say before we close, can you give us any advice to Americans when they are searching in Germany? I think you just kind of answered it. The main thing is to know which town you've got and to make sure that you've got the right town, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So I think you have to know something about the people, something about their background, about their jobs, about their family. Maybe some of them have some history, some stories what they tell, and maybe you could align this to the history of the places where they maybe come from, and yeah, make a really deep look on these informations from the people. So we have many people with the same names. We have hundreds of Hermanns,
Johans,
and something like that. So you have to look really close. Don't believe anything what is online. Get your own source. Take a look there and maybe think, okay, maybe this is possible that he is my Hermann, and but take a look to the records and verify it on yourself. So there are too much information available online in other databases where people only thought, oh, this is a Hermann, it must be my Hermann, and they merge these two people, but they don't match even to each other. So yeah, watch out, and don't be afraid to talk to German people. So I know many researchers here in Germany, and a couple of them really speak English, or they forward their emails to mailing lists. We have specialists for nearly every area of Germany. We have specialists for the south, we have specialists for the north, for every region in Germany, and yeah, just talk to the people, and I think the most of them are really willing to help you.
Yeah, very true. And whoops, losing my. Yeah, the internet, of course, is making it a much smaller world, and it's we're able to share all these sources and everything. And I think we're going to find that pretty soon we're all going to be related to one another. But it will. It's getting much easier. So, well, Timo, I think we're going to close now. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you much success and have fun when you're in Salt Lake. And hopefully, like I said, we can catch up with you in a few weeks or months or something and see how things are going, and you can maybe tell us what happened and then show us some more about. I know that site's got family books on it and all kinds of things. So we'd like to. I think that's what we're going to try to do, is bring more of German resources to people, what they can find over there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Many thanks for having me, and yeah, I wish you all the best with with the video stuff what you're doing, and yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and
it was a pleasure to be here, and yeah.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your time too, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful trip.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Danke. Tschüss.
Tschüss.